I've been commentating on the World Monoposto Simracing Championship since it began in 2023, alongside Ciuman of STV Gaming. The series has many drivers who've competed and won in other series, so the standard of racing at the front is very high indeed. But what makes this championship a little bit different is the cars. Whilst they have the look of modern F1 cars, they are smaller and much more agile, meaning plenty of wheel-to-wheel action. The cars are also powered by V10 engines, meaning the series has a soundtrack of Formula 1 of old. But the real USP is in the teams themselves. You see, team bosses not only pick their drivers, they also have to pick the design philosophy of their cars too. Based on the parts of virtual staff they select using their virtual budgets, their car could be very high downforce, moderately grippy, balanced, slightly lower downforce, or very low downforce. There are also 3 engine suppliers with varying combinations of horsepower and fuel consumption, and there's an upgrade system so they can use the rest of their virtual budgets to bring upgrades throughout the season. This means, depending on what track we're visiting, different teams come to the fore, whilst the upgrade system means we get larger performance fluctuations throughout the season. This got me and Robin thinking. You see, we always talk about in commentary how, the cars are very different from each other and that makes this very unique, but how different are they, really? We got access to the WMSC mod to find out. The plan was to test all 10 cars of the WMSC grid, set times in all of them, and do a bit of a road test to discuss their handling and characteristics. But I'd had a plan to make things a bit more competitive.
What I was thinking was, obviously we're going to take 5 cars each, and then we'll have 10 times. So what we'll do is, why don't we give ourselves points? We'll use like the modern Formula 1 point system, 25 down to 1, and whoever ends up with the most points out of our, times in the top 10 is the winner.
Ah, okay, yeah, I like that. We just need to split up the grid.
Yes. So we'd have an evenly matched split of cars. We'd go up the entry list 2 by 2 and flip a coin to see who got first pick.
So bottom 2, Velocita and Magnum. So I will flip a coin. Heads or tails?
Heads.
It is heads. Which would you like?
I'm going for the Magnum.
That's a good choice. They've got a good engine in that car. So...
Oh yeah, right, they do. I was just because of the classic Lotus looks.
Now, I would show the rest of the teams being picked, but it turns out there was probably no point in us leaving it to fate.
It would be rude of me not to pick Holland Racing Team. I'm very sorry.
I'm absolutely fine. My brain is completely fine, because I think this was now a very difficult way to just decide that you're taking the first, I'm taking the second, you're taking the third.
Has it literally just gone in order?
I think it has.
So after that colossal waste of time, the rules. We'd each take turns to do our runs, and each run would have 2 outlaps followed by 5 timed laps. The fastest time from the 5 would be recorded and put on the leaderboard, and whoever accumulates the most points once all 10 times are set wins. Before starting, Robin and I agreed a standard setup and fuel load that we would both have to use throughout this challenge, and we'd each have the freedom to decide what order we choose our allotted cars in.
Because this is the thing, do you want to lay a marker down with the best car or the theoretically best car on the grid, or are you wanting to save it to later?
I mean, logically, I should get better the longer I drive, but...
in theory, yeah, I would say so in theory too, but who knows?
So, do you want to have the right of reply, or do you want to start?
I'll leave that to you to decide.
You go ahead first.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
I decided to start with the Velocita Virtuale, a new car on the grid for 2024 and the sister car of another team. I wanted to get a good marker in, but it became clear I'd need some time to warm up.
That was very close to the edge.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting... I don't know what happened there. Yeah, so we've been practicing before we started filming, and I was in the Better Julia, and this doesn't seem as compliant when you turn the wheel as the Better Julia.
You can really see it from the outside even. It is not. It looks understeery.
Oh god, it really is. That was very nearly track limits.
I thought so. I think that was close.
Oh no! What is very interesting is this is the first car I've driven where it hits the rev limiter before the end of this straight.
Oh, interesting.
Doesn't seem to have the same top speed. Like, I'm now at the rev limiter. Oh, good lord, it just doesn't like that corner at all.
It doesn't like turning at all, as it seems. Well, as it's hitting the rev limiter, it doesn't like going in a straight line either.
Yeah, sorry, it's not a ringing endorsement of this car so far.
But it's an endorsement for their drivers because they score points.
Very true.
Yes, even in our preparation we were beginning to notice the discrete differences between these cars, and for the Velocita, for my opinion, it was the least willing to turn in. You had to give it a lot more encouragement to get the nose pointing where you wanted it. Very understeery compared to other cars. But a note on the WMSC mod in general, while we're about to find out the differences between these cars, one thing that is the same is I think all of the cars are very grippy, very forgiving. There's a lot of play with them. You can throw these cars into the corners more than you think. And interestingly enough, there is less grip in this year's mod compared to the 2023 season.
That might be a good improvement now if you get the chicane done.
Famous last words.
Yeah, might have cursed you there.
That's okay.
That ain't too bad.
Oh no!
Immediately ruining my competence with the 2019 Sebastian Vettel tribute. And I wasn't done there.
And there's the other Vettel reference, there we go.
I mean, now you could also hit the wall of champions, so...
Oh!
No.
I'll just go with this wall instead. I definitely think if I'd been tidier, I can get into the 116s, but that wasn't the most pleasant drive.
However, in practice, Robin found his first car, the Potenza, equally unpleasant.
It doesn't feel as bad as I remember it so far. It just feels a bit slow through the corners.
Yeah.
Maybe not as bad as first suspected then.
Oh, jeez.
You've got another outlap, you're good.
It doesn't even feel understeery, it feels slidey.
So, all things considered, might be close to the Velocita.
Whoa! Oh, damn, I think I lost my front wing. Where's reverse?
Gear paddles, so if you click both upshift and downshift together...
Well, that is not possible on my wheel.
Oh! Then I don't know.
Let me oh wait, I have this... No? I mean, what do we do now anyways?
You could. I think you could return to pits and just pick up your run where you left off.
It feels okay if you're taking it a bit slow, but as soon as you start to push, it's very sensitive. Maybe it's the right word.
very unsettled.
Whoa. Alright, just 1.5 seconds to find somewhere.
Although it's probably worth noting that this wasn't Robin's or Potenz's fault. You see, as we mentioned, there is a standard setup and fuel load that we're using, but what we didn't realise at first is that when you change cars in the server, it strips the setup from your car and you need to reload it. So at the minute, Robin is driving with the default setup and about 70 laps of fuel in his car. This was the only car that we missed this on. The rest were all done with the proper setup and fuel load. Robin did go back and set an appropriate time with the setup. As you can see, it's on screen. It's not been included in the final scores for this, as it doesn't affect, minor spoilers, the result. So it's all okay in the end. But we have slandered Potenza slightly, so we do apologise.
No!
I might jump straight into the Infernal Void for a direct comparison between the sister cars. I mean, the turn-in on this feels instantly much better.
I'm starting to feel that we should have tested a bit more with the midfield to lower end cars. Because we're struggling a lot now with those.
We've been too busy living the life of luxury near the top end.
As mentioned, Velocita and Infernal Void are sister cars. Infernal Void is the leading team, the Red Bull of the organisation, if you like. And in 2023 they surprised everyone by finishing third in the constructors' standings, and then they added the second team, Velocita, for 2024. Infernal are struggling a bit more this season and scoring a similar amount of points as their sister team, but they have had quite a lot of bad luck. What is notable though is this car definitely handles a lot better than the Velocita. Definitely easier to place and point the nose where you want it. No! Despite what you just saw.
I'm okay, but I was half a second up on myself by that point. I'm not anymore.
That looked clean.
That felt quite clean. Oh.
Wow, that could have been very close to the 115.
Yeah, if I'd... that bloody chicane, if I'd nailed that, that could have been much better indeed.
I'm hopping into the Magnum Motorsports now.
Ooh, this should be interesting.
I have honestly no clue what to expect whatsoever.
Really interested to see how this does, because obviously this is the engine that the top two teams are using, but obviously this team themselves don't have much development money, so they've not been able to update much beyond like the initial like setup. So interested to see how this one does.
It feels a lot quicker also through the corners. I can't judge the straights yet, but it feels much more controlled, not as nervous.
It really, like, it's... I didn't think it would be...
Ooh.
Oh! Wow, that was almost commentator's curse.
I got a bit too confident, I think.
I was going to say, it looks it from the outside, it looks a lot more stable, like the turns 1 and 2, and I think 3 and 4 looked especially neat.
But despite the neatness, the times weren't dropping.
He's still down.
I am. It feels good, but
It looks good. It looks like, compared to what was going on with the Potenza, it looks really together.
Then, the penny finally dropped.
You definitely loaded the setup, right?
Wait.
Please don't tell me you're on, like, an insane amount of fuel.
I am 72 laps. I was wondering what's going on here. I was starting to go insane, wondering how is that possible?
And, instantly, unsurprisingly, there was an improvement.
Oh!
That's more like it.
Okay, here we go.
With that issue identified, the competition could really begin in earnest, and Magnum an interesting entry, new for 2024, not much money, but with one of the best engines in the field, used by the top two teams as well as themselves, but little development money throughout the season to help upgrade the car. Robin definitely felt this car was much better handling than the Potenza, and maybe just a case of trying to get the drivers to extract the performance out of it. But it shows it's got the performance.
Oh!
Yes!
And just like that, Robin to the top of the leaderboard after only 2 of his 5 laps with the Magnum. But he struggled to better his time.
Gotta go all in that chicane now.
Ooh! I kept it out the wall.
I gained for a brief moment, but I don't think it was quicker than before.
I'll go into the Costech since I enjoyed it, and we'll go with that. And it's not expected to do quite as well as like the sort of Minardi of the series.
Looks like a Benetton, performs like a Minardi.
Oh, this is interesting. I liked this before, but it feels a bit oversteery now.
Oversteering. Okay, this is I think the first time that we had this issue.
Like, it's very compliant, but I think it's quite easy to over-rotate the car.
Yeah, it might also be down to the setup that we adjusted to have the same in every car, just to...
Yeah, very true.
But as I got used to the handling, I started pushing. Oh no, maybe a little bit too far.
This might get invalidated.
It even invalidated it.
Yeah, that did.
Oh, wow, that didn't look too bad.
I think the one thing that is consistent is that I think they're all quite forgiving cars, but that does make them very fun to drive. You feel like even though there are differences between them, you can still kind of adjust to them well enough and feel like you can push them.
Yeah. Except for the Potenza, I didn't feel like it was forgiving me too much.
And as my laps progressed, so did I.
Not hitting the rev limiter in this as well, which is interesting.
Didn't even take a look at how it was in the Magnum. Ooh, that is a big one.
I rescind my previous statement. I still love this car. This is brilliant.
Oh, now things are getting wild.
Damn.
That left me with just 1 lap to go. I was down, but not out.
.900ths of a second in it coming to the final chicane.
Oh, that is going to be interesting. Oh, you didn't try my way.
I did! Oh my god, I've gained a 10th.
You did? Oh, wow! Crazy, I thought...
That felt so counterintuitive.
5 cars down, 5 to go, Robin up next in an unknown quantity. the SCMM.
It looks really tidy through the corners, but there's obviously a couple of snaps on exit.
Yeah, throttle application is a bit difficult. Okay, I'm starting now.
Okay.
But as Robin's outlap time was about to show, I was in trouble.
Gee, that was okay.
I was going to say, for an outlap, and with snaps, oh, this could be very good.
Now I'm putting myself under pressure with that.
In 2023, SCMM were tipped for big things. They finished second in the opening round, but then wouldn't get on the podium again. In 2024, they're a race winner with Filip Puška. Now Puška's a great driver, but as Robin is demonstrating, they've clearly got a much better car this year too.
That's a really good one.
Oh! That's a beauty. That's straight to number one. So pressure off for these. Just see what you can do to improve.
There is more in it, definitely, but it is a bit like with the Kostek for you. It's a bit harder to control. Or, yeah, not harder to control, but not as stable, a bit loose. But very quick.
The only problem with us getting faster...
Bit too much.
...was now even small mistakes were killing off our laps.
Yeah, that one's also
Ah.
one for the bin.
I mean, it's awesome to watch. It is so good.
That one is better, that lap. Oh, that was too much of that.
Is that it, or have you still got a chance?
An outside chance.
Which promptly disappeared.
Yeah, the last one was on until the hairpin.
Right. I'm gonna save the HRT to last. I'll go with Better Julia. I've enjoyed this car when I've driven it before. Don't think it's quite as oversteery as the Kostek.
So, what are the first impressions?
Very nicely balanced. It doesn't feel like it's over-rotating or as loose as the Kostek. It feels really nice, to be honest.
But immediately, I made things hard for myself.
Damn. I found the limit on turn 1.
Oh, track limits.
Track limits.
I didn't even look that bad, or not much different from what we've done before.
Then, on the next lap, I made them harder.
Oh, that was messy. Oh. Little bit of damage.
Oh, is there? Feel free to box, maybe. We've done it before.
Oh, you go on. Yeah, I will. I think I've got 2 laps left.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm overdoing it, because I do feel really confident in it. Like, it might just be a case of I feel like I can push the car more, but I'm actually over pushing it a little bit.
I tried to take that mantra into my penultimate lap. Better Julie themselves, quite interesting, they've been solidly a midfield team for both seasons so far, but they've kept their driver lineup of Daniel Benton-Reeder and Denny Vella, and for this year it seems to have served them well as they've been really consistent in scoring the points, and they're almost kind of in the best of the rest category, and you just feel like they're not far off of making a step up to challenging more consistently for podiums and maybe wins in the future. For whatever reason though, I really got on with this car. It just felt really balanced, didn't feel like it was too oversteery, too understeery. I just felt really poised in it, and it was my favourite car of the day, despite the fact I was about to drive the car leading the Constructors' Championship and the reigning champions next.
That looked really tidy.
That felt good.
Oh, it's close.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
Oh.
damn. Track limits again. I did it, yeah, and that was slam dunk, because as soon as I went over it, I knew, yeah, no, I really like that car. I think that might be my number one ahead of the Costech.
well, we'll do qualifying and race tests later as well, so that's a candidate. Cesario.
This should be interesting. I liked this car when I drove it as well. I think this is good.
I'll be interested to see. I felt very good with it before, but I have driven this lately and I didn't get close to the lap time I did with the SCMM with this one. Ooh.
That was, I think, millimetres away from the wall of champions.
Despite that near miss, Robin started to close in, and on his penultimate lap, went close.
It's good.
This is the 15 now. Final lap.
In WMSC itself, Cesario is an interesting case, much like SCMM. Tipped to win races and fight for the title in 2023, they struggled, but in 2024, they're a race-winning team, with driver Lucas Murno leading the charge. This was Robin's personal favourite car of the day, despite the fact he's going to jump in the runners-up from 2023 next.
Good.
But probably worth noting that at the time of recording, Cesario are comfortably second in the Constructors. They seem to be the team taking the fight to Holland Racing Team this year.
This looks good.
That final chicane saved me. Come on.
Oh!
Yes!
I love how close this is. So you are first and second at the minute with a 1 minute 15.61 in the Cesario and a 0.64 in the SCMM, and I'm third and fourth with the 15.72 in the Beta Julia and 0.77 in the Costech. Like, we are so tightly packed.
Oh wow. You're under pressure now.
I mean, instantly, it feels planted.
Okay.
And it should. Holland Racing Team were the 2023 Constructors Champions, powering Yannis Volborn to the Drivers' title too, and they're currently both top in 2024 at the time of recording. Holland Racing Team reclaiming the abbreviation of HRT for good.
Ooh, that.
This is interesting. I feel like it does feel really good to drive, but it does kind of lull you into a false sense of security of almost overthrowing it into corners. And I don't know whether I need to rein back or lean into it.
Yes, despite it clearly being a quick car, I was struggling with it.
Oh, damn!
Call me Sergio Perez. However, I knew the pace was there, and if I could just extract the best out of myself, then the car could very much do the rest.
Ooh, close. Oh, this looks really on the edge.
It is.
Oh, ooh. Looked like you got a bit unsettled down that first curve.
Oh no. Damn. It was actually on a knife edge up to the hairpin. I'm about 2/10 down now.
Oh, nothing you can settle with that. Oh, that was a bit too much.
The car is obviously quick, but I feel like to get the very best out of it, you have to be comfortable being on the edge. You know, Yanis and Pascal are both brilliant at doing that. Like, we've seen Yanis seemingly throw the car into corners sometimes, and it goes with him.
So the last one looked really on the edge, and I think if you got that one together, it would have even beaten my time in the Cesario, because it looked really quick.
So, pressure slightly off, Robin concludes in the Optimal, the 2023 runners-up.
Okay, let's see. So, Reuven throws this car around quite a lot as well. Immediately, it feels very turn-happy.
Robin very quickly returned to the 15.7s and immediately threatened to put another time in the 0.6s.
Good. It looks good.
Still not quite.
Yes, Robin still felt he could get more out of it, but that would be his best and only go third fastest. Not that it mattered. He'd locked out the top 3.
It's a drubbing. You win with 65 points to 36. Very well played. But I loved how close that ended up being. That was really fun.
It sounds a lot more clear than it actually was, because my 3 times were all, my top 3 times all within 115.6, but yours were very close as well, so this might have very well been the other way around.
To finish off, not for points or prizes, we decided to swap top cars. So I did a run in the Optimal and Robin in the Holland. For me though, I think I'd reached my limit for the day, making mistakes, not even getting into the 115s.
Have you been able to improve so far?
I think I'm about to a little bit, but I've just done that last lap with a bit of damage, so I'm just going to quickly...
Okay.
For Robin, however, he started to show off.
That one's it.
Oh!
I think this is the absolute maximum I can do. This one worked really perfectly now. Point was to prove these cars are actually very different, and I think we've proven that quite well.
Yeah, I think so. And to be honest, it was even more so than I was expecting. To feel the effect that has is really cool.
I even f***ed up the final chicane, which if I hadn't done, that could have been 15.3, 15.2. Why did I do that? I've just annoyed myself now. So looking back, what have we actually learned? Robin doesn't know the difference between a car with full fuel and nearly empty fuel. I handle pressure about as well as a marshmallow. And the WMSC cars are indeed different from one another, but crucially, they're still close enough that being a good driver can still make all the difference. Speaking of being good drivers, I wonder how close me and Robin are to the best drivers in WMSC. Shall we find out? And part 2 will be on Robin's channel, STV Gaming. Make sure you subscribe to make sure you don't miss it, and check out some of his other videos too. We'll be doing a qualifying session and comparing ourselves against the times in the WMSC and a 1v1 race around Manicor. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.